Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. Drink it if you got it. Wow. I think it's psychological. Sometimes I think we don't even need the caffeine. We just need the illusion of caffeine, because this is decaf, and it's just as delicious when you take that first sip in the morning. Maybe better off to just try to stick with decaf coffee for a while. One of these days in 40 or 50 years, I'll have it completely figured out. And if I can find a way back, my friends, I will share it all with you. Congratulations to Jerry. Did a great job on kilts. I only managed to catch a couple of minutes of it. Slipped in and rushed around to get ready to go this morning. I had stuck my head outside. I have no idea if this is sunny Melbourne, Florida, rainy, cold, warm. I saw my thermometer and it says 57 out there. And then I saw Rick put a comment in. It says he's got rain down in Miami. I put two and two together and came up with a cold front probably went through last night, but I have no idea. I looked out the window. It still looks dark out there, even though it's supposed to get light at 7. But I'm going to have to wait till after and see what the world is. Did not turn the TV on, did not watch any news. I have no idea what's changed overnight. I say hello to some people here on a Monday morning, new week. Mary M. chimed in yesterday. Michael Pregler. Lady June chimed in again this morning. She said, good morning, and Mike Silly from Tampa Bay is here. How you doing, Michael? And I changed the style of the banners because I kind of saw somebody else using these big banners with the bigger pictures. I thought, wow, that's pretty neat. So also, I'm hoping that having this big banner up there will kind of be a slap in the face to me and keep me from leaving them up there without realizing it. Because how can you not notice this? For example, I won't be able to just read the chat on the screen there without the banner covering up the bottom half of it. So it'll help me remove them or remember to remove them. That's a bad habit I have of leaving them up there. I go off on a tangent and then same message. And I know that I've had that done to me a few times. I've had people leave my message on the screen and forget about it. And it was embarrassing for me to see my name was up there, and I kept saying, "Get rid of it, get rid of it." So I apologize if I've done that to too many of you, although many of you might like the publicity. I don't know. I don't know. What do we have here? Mike Seeley from Melbourne. We are full of Mike Seeleys this morning. Good to see you guys. Brian Dish, good morning, Mitch, and all the Mitch fits with a Z. Rick, got some rain here finally. Yeah, I imagine we did too, Rick. I imagine we did too. Marla Kelly's here. Good morning, all. Thomas, I will be here. Good to see you. And I saw Kilts finished 2 minutes early today. Wow, that was great. And Jerry was, excuse me, I said I got up early. Jerry did a great job when I saw of it. I like Jerry. Jerry was on our Thursday. Was it Thursday night or Saturday night? So many live streams, so many days. Made a great guest. And Bride's Biscuit is here. Good morning, Mitch and family. How are you? Grandma's Crochet Corner. Good morning, everybody. And Steve Rogers. Da, da, da. Captain America from Kansas City. How you doing, Steve? I wish it said Captain America. I like that up there. Peter's with us. Peter, how you doing? And listen, if you got any questions, QQQ, anything you want to talk about, it's almost going to be up to you to steer the conversation today because I was on Kilts yesterday on his Sunday morning stream. I chimed in and I was there with Rick was there and who else chimed in? Rick, me, Kilts. I'm sorry, guys. I'm in a fog this morning. I'm in a fog. I'm still waking up. It's just not one of the mornings where I got up and sprang out of bed. I don't know why. Maybe I didn't get the sleep I needed last night. I got to bed much later last night than I usually do. It threw me off tremendously. And I'm really struggling to get going here this morning. When I got up, I have my cell phone's on the bed on my nightstand next to my bed, and I picked it up and it slipped out of my hand and it dropped on the floor, and it slid under the bed. Now, normally people would say, "Well, just go look under the bed and get it." For me, it was I stuck my hand under there as far in as I could reach it from like a standing position, but I don't do a lot of kneeling, very rarely, and normally, at least absolutely, the only time I've kneeled since my stroke, I've managed to go down on just one knee, and I had a walker or a cane or something there to support me. So because I just haven't done that, and it's almost impossible until lately for me to do that. But in order to get my cell phone out, I had to go down on both knees. I have not laid on the floor in like a position to do a push-up in almost a year. I didn't realize that you don't think about it, that it's been that long. I haven't been able to crawl under things, especially when it comes to wiring. I've saved up some of those chores when I rewire some of my gadgets I let the girl who cleans my house, I tell her to do it for me. And here I am, my cell phone's on the floor, slid pretty far under the bed. And I said, well, there's no reason you can't do it. So I did. Honest to God, for the first time in almost a year, got down on both of my knees. And you know how you do those kind of push-ups where you I think they call them girl push-ups or female push-ups, where you have your knees on the ground instead of just your feet. I kind of did one of them, and it wasn't any big deal. There was my cell phone. It reached all the way under the bed and got it, and stood up again. One leg first. I did hold on to something with my hand and stood up, and no problem. So I don't know if that's the kind of milestone you want to brag about, but it was the way I started my day. And I was thinking, well, I can't get my cell phone. So I thought about maybe getting my cane and fishing around under there, but then I couldn't. I'd have to get down on my knees anyway. So I was forced. I should have done it probably a little while ago. I should have tried. I should have experimented. But the problem is I'm here by myself all the time. The same thing happened when I had my physical therapist here. I asked him, if I were to fall, how would I get back up again? And he showed me all the steps. And you don't think about these things. None of us think about these things until it happens to you. And you are kind of crippled up for a while. If I fall, how do I get up? And his instructions to me were at the time, well, you roll over on your stomach if you can. You try to push yourself up to your knees. You try to make your way across to something that you can hold on to help pull yourself back up. And at the time, I didn't think I could do it. I said, well, I don't want to practice it now, but we'll practice it. And we never did get to practice it. And I never got to do it by myself because I was afraid. What happens if I'm alone and I practice these things, practice getting down on my knees, practice getting, and I can't get up? Well, then I got to start with the nonsense of calling somebody, call my son. And if they're not there, I got to call 911 or a neighbor who probably is in worse shape than me and couldn't lift me up. And these are the things you're faced with, trying to recover from this. And this morning, I was again faced with either do it or figure out how you're going to live without your cell phone. Perish the thought. And I'm glad it happened because it showed me that I'm much further along than I thought I was. I think half of the recovery here is confidence in your increasing abilities. So it's an interesting thing. I thought maybe, I don't know if you'd like to hear it, but give you a little insight in case something similar happens to you. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that has been debilitated for a period of time in this crowd. Where was I saying hello to people? Did I get to 7 yet? No, I didn't. Who's this? This is Sandy Blythe. Good morning, Sandy. And Bride's Biscuit said hi to you. 6:59. John Logan, good morning, John. Good morning. Good morning. Kathy, sorry. Tanya, I told you I'm not with us this morning. Tanya, Kitchen Witch. Oh, I'm awake. How are you, Tanya? What a trooper. Good to see you this morning. Not Kathy. There's Jerry. Congratulations, Jerry. Great job on Kelsey this morning. Great job. And you were wide awake too. Wow, that was great. That was great. My BB&E, good morning to you. Do you like this better with the big pictures and everything up there? I hope so. I think I like it better. It's easier for me to read. I got to get some new glasses. It's getting harder. Getting harder. Something else, something I got to do. Larry Ryan, good morning to you. And Larry, 659. And Lucy Works, 659. And here we go. Oh, my God. An all-round winner this morning. Jerry, you timed it perfectly. Wow, wow, wow. So I made sure I finished early, Mitch. Now that, Jerry, is dedication above and beyond the call of duty and flattering to me in ways you can't imagine. Maybe the first time that an early ending kilts was directed by the guest herself. So thank you. Thank you for that. And you hit it right. Honest to God, must have been frantically switching channels. You hit it right on the money. Followed shortly by Brian Dish, Lady June, Grandma, and Don Schonger. Good morning, Don. And Jerry came back in again. Now we're just saying hi to everybody. Peter's back here after 7. Super Tune, how are you? I'm trying to remember names. I think this, am I right if I say Chuck? I'll get it. I have to do it a couple times and try to associate, but good morning to you. Donna Ray is here. Bacon Runner. Hi, Donna Ray. How are you? And who is this? Rick again. Back says good morning. And now I think well, here's Susan back one, looking like a space commander with the big screen tech. Good morning. Love that sexy jazz. That's great. Great. Susan back one. Brenda McIntyre's here. Hiya, Brenda. How are you? Remember, put QQQ in the chat. And I'm going to probably be spending most of this morning just following the chat and conversing with you. Oh, look who's here. Wow, that's an effort. Spanky. How you doing, Spanky? From up in Canada. You're already working at the police station. UNCB probably have, CB Carmack probably have some real war stories. I know Spanky was a prison guard. And everybody says hi to Spanky, and Spanky says hi to Peter, and Terry is here. Hiya, Terry. Good morning to you. Always good to see you. Brian, B. Mad is here. Brian, and I'm way behind in the chat. I'm at 7:03, but let's continue. Peter, 68 degrees and rainy here in Boca. Yeah, Pete, I'm pretty sure we had a cold front go through. Why not? We need a little rain. That's sometimes a big problem we have in Florida in the winter. So we don't get enough rain. We end up in June with wildfires all over the state. So I like to see it cool off once in a while. Might have to wear a little jacket out there this morning. We're going to have Larry Ryan says, I never watched the news. The only thing, like I made that video yesterday, Larry. Yeah, that works. That bigger banner makes me notice it, so I don't leave it up there all the time. I noticed yesterday, excuse me, that when I watch 5 or 10 minutes of the morning news, something comes up that I want to comment on, and I have an idea to make a video, and that's what's happened the past couple of days to me, and I've been making videos again. But when I don't watch the news and I don't go out into society, and I try not to watch too much YouTube. Holy cow, look at this. Susan back. Wow, wow, wow. Susan back. Susan. Early Valentine greetings to Mitch and all. Off to feed the chickens. $100 super chat. Holy cow. I sure as hell hope, Susan, that wasn't a mistake and you didn't hit the wrong key or misplace a decimal point or something, because if you did, email me immediately and I'll see what I can do to give it back, please. And if you did it on purpose, that's amazing generosity and validation. So thank you so much. But either way, thank you so much. It's easy to do that sometimes. You might want to say, when I give $10 or $9.99, and you accidentally get an extra keystroke in there. But wow, that's a shock. That's a real shock. Not something that usually happens to me, not on a Monday morning. So at any rate, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You all see it up there on the right, a big red thing. When I get down to it in the chat, I'll put it up again. Larry said, I can't watch the news. Yeah, and it's a way to get some ideas, because what else have we got to talk about here in the morning? I can say, eat meat. I can say, take the rest of the day off, which is why I'm trying to not shed the carnivore channel. Oh my God, Susan. She did it again. Thank you, she says. Oh, wow. I'm verklempt. Verklempt, you know what that means? Like on Coffee Talk. Oh my God, thank you. And Tuka chimed in with a super sticker. Thank you, Tuka. Good to see you. But wow, Susan. You'll have to give me a minute. That's overwhelming. Guess it wasn't an accident. Loretta Nadeau, good morning and have a fabulous, she always calls us darlings. Loretta says, good morning, darlings. Have a fabulous day. Loretta, you too. And Jerry, thanks, Susan. Thanks for your generosity. Wow, you're not kidding. Wow. Isn't that something? Spanky, morning all. Hope all is well. Hugs all around. And everybody's thanking Susan. Unbelievable. Hello, my friend. Been away a while, says Annette Energy AP. Annette. Good to see you, sweetie. I'm glad you're okay. You're right. I haven't seen you in a while, but good to have you here. We got many new people coming in, or should I just? Okay, here's a question from Peter. Question: I've noticed that Kilt's ending his shows on time over the past week. Did you ask him to do that for you? No, No, Peter, not at all. Not at all. Um, and I don't think he's doing it for me. I think it really isn't a bad habit to get into when you do these things, because people, even with me, I know many times Aaron, Booby Goats, is going to do a live stream right after mine. And it's, even though I may be going, it doesn't do me any good to keep going. It doesn't benefit me in any way to sit here all day and be on a live stream. And just about everybody else that does Anthony Chafee has a habit of going hours. Rick, well, Rick, we expect is Saturday morning to just go until he gets tired or have something else to do. But you do something every day, sticking to a schedule. And if you ever notice that Nisha will not let Ken Berry go over 1 second, she's always on him. Gotta go, end the live streams after 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. And I think it's not a bad habit to get into. I'm trying to do the same thing, but I get going and I get talking and about something, and you know me. Why say in 5 words, but what you can say in 20? Especially if I'm explaining something, I want to slow down and try to make sure that I'm talking in a way that everybody can understand. And that sometimes means more words and it takes longer and you go slower and you repeat things. So no, Peter, I don't think he did it. I don't think he did it because of me. I certainly didn't ask him to do that. Is Rick commenting about his phone? My phone is attached to the sailor, cannot fall behind the bed. Yeah, mine can't fall. That's the first time I did that, Rick. But in a way, it was a good thing. It was a good thing. Honestly, it forced me to get down on my hands and knees, which turned out to be no big thing at all. Here I was so afraid of getting stuck that I didn't realize how far I had come. And if I had somebody with me here all the time, I would certainly experiment and stretch and try to get myself in positions that I previously couldn't recover from. But I'm here by myself all day. And I don't want to call anybody and say, come on over and help me in case I can't get up. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to push my button. I've fallen and I can't get up. I don't want to be one of those, even though I do wear the button. I wear it under my shirt now. I got tired of having the thing always get in the way. So that's what that's what this is. This is my I've fallen and I can't get a button. I'm not too proud to wear it, but it's better to wear it under my shirt, because when I'm eating, it doesn't get in everything and it doesn't keep banging into things. And if I lean forward and this thing bangs into something, it thinks I fell. It comes on and says, fall detected. Press the button to cancel fall. Then I got to press the button and hope the fall detection gets canceled, or else I'm going to have to try to deal with cancel and 911 calls and all that crap. So I decided I'm wearing it inside. I'll probably be able to still push the button, even if I have to push it through my shirt if something dramatic happens. You never think like that. You never think like that. Here's the time for another little story. When I had my stroke, I had never had anything like that happen to me before. My entire life. Never became physically unable just to move, just to stand, just to get up. It happened to me at a time when I was cooking some hamburger on the stove, and I had 2 hamburger patties and a frying pan on the stove, and I was in the other room when the stroke hit me. I ended up on the floor in front of my couch, between my couch and the coffee table. And I tried to get up, but couldn't. So I spent my time concentrating on getting the cell phone. Fortunately, I had the cell phone in my pocket, on my left pocket. My left arm was unaffected, so I was able to get my cell phone, but I was unable, and you saw the video, many of you, I was unable to actually unlock it because I couldn't use my right hand, which is the fingerprint that unlocks my cell phone. So I tried yelling at it and tried voice unlock, and it was the most frustrating. It took me a long time before I finally got to the point where I did get it unlocked. After so many attempts, it put up a keypad finally. And I typed my PIN in, and it did unlock it. And I called 911. And if you haven't watched the video, my description of what happened, go and find it, watch it, because it was scary as hell. That experience did something to me that made me ultra uber paranoid about being in a position without a way to call for help. Normally, we go about our business. Where's the cell phone? Oh, it's over there on the table. I don't know. I think I left it in the bedroom. I will not allow myself to be more than arm's reach from my cell phone 24/7. If I'm in bed and I want to get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, the cell phone comes with me. I'm so afraid of after that experience, of finding myself in that position, that I've become tethered to this stupid phone. Even though I'm wearing this button, I don't wear it at night when I sleep. And I'm that paranoid, and it seems silly, but I simply get nervous as a cat and expect to have another stroke at exactly the instant, the one time where I allow myself to be separated from any means of communication because I live alone. Now that may sound silly, but it's the only way that I can even live these days. So when that cell phone went under the bed this morning, it was a little panic moment. Like, I got to get it back. What am I going to do? Because my luck, this is exactly the time I have another stroke or fall and break something. And it's scary. That's why I'm just not going anywhere without the push button on my I can't get a button. I don't care what people think. And I don't know if I even ever want to get over this. I've managed to adjust my life so that I've always got the stupid phone with me. And until they implant a phone somewhere in my ear or head, and I don't have to think about it, I'm going. That's just the way I'm going to live. It's always with me. And right now, it sits here right on the table in front of me. If I were to get up right now and run into the bathroom, first thing I do is grab the phone, put it in my pocket. You don't think about things until they happen. And they do happen. So if it's not too inconvenient for you in your lifestyle, do not, I would advise. Because I was the last person on the planet Earth that I thought was going to have a stroke. How could I have a stroke? I'm extremely healthy. I have no chronic conditions, nothing wrong with me. My numbers are good. I'm in shape. I work out. Well, it happened. I think it happened because of my previous head injury. Maybe a COVID shot. Who knows why it happens? It can happen randomly. You can have a blood clot, little phlebitis in your leg, and that blood clot little piece of that can break off and end up anywhere in your body. It can end up in your lungs. And you could die with a pulmonary embolism or something, pulmonary stroke. It can somehow find its way into your brain, and then you could have an ischemic stroke like I did. So if it's at all possible for you to make sure you got a way to communicate with the outside world, especially if you live alone, the little extra effort to kind of be cognizant of keeping it handy, I think might be worthwhile. I lived that way. I wasn't tied to the phone, but I was cognizant of the fact that I'm alone, and if I don't have it with me, what am I going to do? And that's why I had it in my pocket that day. A little interesting story. See, Aaron's here. Well, let me look for questions. Let me, Rick says, Bishop's awesome. He never gives up. No, I'm not giving up, Rick. I do not give up. I've always come back. Whatever happens, I'll find a way back from it until I'm gone. And, it's funny. I always had a funny thought that, in all these horror movies, they show you a graveyard and then all of a sudden an arm pops up out of the dirt. That'd be me. That'd be me figuring out a way to get out of that mess too. Trying to sit through all this conversation. Is the Morning Milton Report. The Morning Milton Report. Breaking news. Milton is sleeping by my feet now. So evidently, Rick has discovered what was the source of Milton's aggression and eliminated it. That's right. I did guess right. Chuck, Super Tune. Yes, Chuck, Super Tune. All right. I got it now. Now, if I remembered it last time, I will remember it forever. And it says Super Tune twice, like Richard Williams says Williams twice. And I don't know if you did that on purpose or you two did it to you, but it is what it is. Rick style chat steered live stream. And here's our Tuga checked in. How you doing, Tuga? Good to see you. Good to see you. And Thomas, I'm here with a BS of 98, enjoying half of my steak. Wow, congratulations. And by BS, I don't imagine you mean a bullshit meter. I imagine you mean blood sugar or Bachelor of Science. One of those three. And Thomas on Lion Diet. Jerry just ended. I meant to comment on the fact that Jerry just ended her ridiculous, what was it, 40 to 30-day fast, 30 or 40-day that she does every year. And I say ridiculous, not in any condemnation way, but because I think about me doing a 40-day fast and how ridiculous that would be. I'd never make it. But evidently, to me, it's amazing. And it improves so much of what we believe about an ancestral way of eating and eating the right foods. And the fact that our bodies are designed to go long periods of time without food and yet still be able to perform and not torment us with such awful hunger and cravings that we can't. We are built for that. And animal physiology, it's obvious, is also, bears hibernate. Many creatures go without food for long periods of time. Human beings had to have been among them, or we wouldn't be here today. So maybe fasting. Maybe I ought to give it. Maybe I ought to try just for fun to do it. Maybe a 3 or 4 day fast. The longest fast I've ever done is about 2 days, and it wasn't on purpose. It was because I was traveling to an event in Orlando for the keto summit a couple of years ago, and I didn't take any food. I didn't think about the food. When I got there, I had no desire to buy the crap they were selling, so I didn't eat all day. When I got home, it was almost bedtime. I really wasn't hungry. I went to bed, got up the next morning, and went back, got in the car, and went back. Same thing happened. So I basically had a coffee and water 2-day fast, and it was no big deal. I ate the next day. My goal was not to lose any more weight. I'm trying to put weight on right now. I managed to put on maybe about 5 or 10 pounds since my stroke, just because I may not be as skinny and as muscular looking as I was before the stroke, but that's not important to me now. What's important to me now is my health. And you hear this recommendation from everywhere, is that when you get older, it's much better to carry 5 or 10 pounds of extra weight. If you do get sick, it'll really help you survive it. So I'm not worried about, I'm just huge now. I'm huge. My son jokes with me. I say, yeah, I put on 5 or 10 pounds. He looks at me and says, yeah, Pop, you're huge. You're just huge. I weigh right now 140 pounds. 140 pounds, and I'm huge. So it's all relative. And I'm 5'10" on top of it. So it's all relative. It's all relative. I don't think I need to be fasting right now. And as there's a Thomas that just did the fast and put the weight right back. Or, oh no, Gary, no slow. Fasted and lost a bunch of weight, and he's doing it again and put it back on real quick, because that's what you do. You're not losing muscle. You're losing water and fat, and you regain that real quick when you start eating again. And Spanky says 140 pounds of dynamite. Thank you, Spanky. And here was Susan's little super chat, or big super chat. Thank you, Susan. Thank you so much. Again. Oh, Susan says, I held back Mitch. Happy to help you. Susan, that's so generous. And then if she did it again, uh, I appreciate it. I would have felt bad if it was a mistake, but I don't feel bad. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Jimmy, here's your Lake of the Ozarks. Good morning. Good morning to you, Jimmy, as well. And a few comments about that super chat or those super chats from Tanya. Tuka chimed in, a super sticker. Thank you so much, Tuka. Tuka's a great guy. A great guy. I enjoy him. He comes in and sees us on the panel in our live streams. Always says to me, hello, asshole. And I love it. And anybody calls me an asshole, I thank them. I thank them because I don't like to argue face to face with people. I don't like conflict. I will usually walk away from it or try to turn it into a joke. When somebody calls me an asshole, I say, thank you. And I stand there smiling. And it just knocks them off guard. It knocks them off guard. And if they ask, what do you mean thank me? I said, well, let me explain it to you. I have worked the past 40 years of my life perfecting the art of being an asshole. And it's just so gratifying to finally get some recommendation for all of that work. People cannot fight with you if you don't fight back. And the old sticks and stones adage of words can't hurt you is true. When you allow a verbal altercation to progress to a physical one, I always have learned that that's on me if that happens. So I try to diffuse the best I can any situation. There's always going to be mean people and always going to be nasty people. And every once in a while, you get confronted with them. And they're usually much bigger than you and dumber. It doesn't pay to fight. Doesn't pay to fight. People say things like, go screw yourself. Smile. When they say that to you, you smile and you kind of just get a dreamy look on your face. Look up at the sky and say, man, if I could do that, I'd never leave the house. You can't fight. You can't fight with somebody that won't fight back. How did I get onto that subject? Well, but I really do that to people. Why they want to yell at me, I don't know. I'm a harmless old man. Okay, I'm still trying to keep an eye on all the chat. Here's a question. Let me just try to scroll all the way down if I missed and see if I can pick them out. I'm sure they're not earth-shattering questions because here we go. Congratulations, Mitch, on reaching a new milestone in your stroke recovery. Yes, sounds like you got to have easily done the kneeling exercise months ago if you had tried. Yeah, and it's nice to know I can do it. No problem now. No problem. I have kneeled, Peter, on one knee a couple of times when I just had to get down to plug something in under my desk or something. But it was a real stretch and very, 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 very tough to do. But I'm at a point right now where I may be able to start doing push-ups on the floor, but on my knees at this point. I could probably do them back to my feet. I used to do sets of 25, but I have lost a lot of strength in my right arm, and I'm trying to use the resistance bands and those things to recover. But it is a long road. The one thing that's holding back most is the balance issues. Those seem to be the longest to come back. But I'm actually getting to the point now where I walk 2,000 to 3,000 steps a day, according to my watch, with no devices, except I have a cane with me when I go outside. But around the house here, I usually just walk around. And if somebody was looking at me walking around all day, they would wonder how much I had to drink. Because when your balance is off, it's like if you've ever been on a cruise ship that's in the rough seas, that's the way it feels. If your balance is off, not dizzy, but unstable, but not so unstable anymore, whereas I can't recover. I used to be that if I got to a certain point, I would really be susceptible to a fall. And the reason you see a lot of stroke recovering people or older people in general using canes is only for balance. You don't see them leaning on the cane with a lot of weight because maybe they got a bad knee or a bad hip. It's just touching that cane to the ground and getting that third point of reference gives you another cue and makes it easier to balance. I don't want to get, if I didn't risk it and practice walking without the cane, I never really probably get any better than this, but I do want to get my complete balance back. It might take another year where I can walk backwards as fast as I can walk forwards, change direction in a minute's notice. And I'm fighting aging on top of it, because as much as I want to and as much as I feel I'm going to be able to, I've still got that variable in there. Be 79 years old. I get more and more of these. Videos in my YouTube feed that say things like, "These are the changes that happen to you after you're 70. There's nothing you can do about it. These are the changes that happen to you after you're 75. There's nothing you can do about it." The only ones I have looked forward to are probably the same changes, are the videos that say, "These are the same changes. These are the changes that happen to you after you're 80, and you can't do anything about it." I don't watch those videos. Why would you want to worry about that? I just deal with whatever changes I see. One of the changes that seems to be universal as we get older is waking up in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning. And that's something I went and looked for the answer to that. Why the hell am I waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning? It's as if I'd set an alarm clock. There's something wrong with me. I'm waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I come to find out that as we get older, our circadian rhythms change. The times of day that certain functions happen, certain rises in cortisol, wake us up. These are normal. When you go to sleep at night, you don't just stay in a steady state. Your body's going through different cycles of repair, and during, like a dishwasher or a washing machine. And whereas these cycles didn't used to wake you up, they do now. But it's the same cause. You need a little more digestion. autophagy. You need a little more cortisol. You need a little more sugar. And then you come into the morning and you have all the dawn effect stuff to wake you up into consciousness. Well, it seems as you get older, some of these little things do wake you up, and it seems the timing is always within 10 minutes of 3 a.m. This morning, 3 o'clock, 3:13. Boom, I'm awake. What time is it? 3:13. Oh, go back to sleep. I don't normally set an alarm. When I have a live stream in the morning, I set my alarm about 6:15. And sure enough, the alarm woke me up this morning. And that was followed by the cell phone under the bed incident. So I was really a little verblunged, which is another Hebrew word. We're running around like a chicken with its head cut off, getting ready for this live stream and to try to do the best I can with no preparation for the content whatsoever. And I made it. 7:55. How about that? Anthony says to me, "You are not alone." I know I'm not. Anthony. And here, a golf bike said, "What kind of cell phone does everyone have? Curious if you all, with all us old people." Okay, well, that'd be an interesting thing for us old technology. Me, technology hound that I am, I always have to have the biggest, most powerful, latest, and greatest. And even though I don't need it, it's kind of like one of the things I allow some people allow themselves to go to Las Vegas and gamble. Some people take a cruise. Some people allow themselves certain luxuries. With me, I got to have the biggest, baddest, fastest Android cell phone with the best cameras. And I have a Samsung S25 Ultra. It's a great phone with too many settings. And the reason I had the problem when I had the stroke and I had this cell phone was that I had the power button on the side set to trigger, or it was set to trigger Google to listen when you long pressed it. That was the default setting. I never changed it. So I know that when you long press a cell phone power button, you should get this screen. And this screen says power off, restart, and there's a thing that says emergency call on it. But you have to have it set to that. You have to have it set so that when you long hold this button, that screen comes up and you press emergency call and you get the dialer and you can call 911. It didn't do that. It does now. It does now. I also have my phone set to wake up when I use the "hey, you know who" wake up word, and dial the phone when I say dial whatever I say. So I've got the phone set for two different ways now for me to communicate without having to go all through all of that unlock. I appreciate the security of having the phone lock itself down tight, but I don't appreciate when it won't let me in either. So I'm okay. I've also got fall detection enabled on the thing. And I have fall detection on my watch. And I have an SOS button on my watch. And my watch is also a cell phone. This has its own SIM number. I can leave my phone turned off and make phone calls on my watch. Again, the most powerful digital watch. It has fall detection as well. I've got my button. And some people would say that I'm obsessive about it. And all I can say to them is, if you ever find yourself in a position half paralyzed, unable to communicate, in a house filling with smoke because the hamburgers are burning like hell on the stove, and manage to get out of it alive, and whatever happens, and get to the point where I am now, and you don't constantly think about allowing yourself to be in that position again, then you, my friend, are an idiot. So it is what it is, and I'm stuck with it. Peter asked, Peter asked, Mitch, does your phone unlock itself via face recognition? Yeah, I have it, but I don't use it. I don't like it. I want to unlock. I don't want somebody else, if something happens to me, to be able to point my phone at my face and have it unlock itself. Sorry. I know I just have never had good luck with it. And no, my phone was brand new at the time. I hadn't set up all of that stuff yet. That was the problem. It is set up now. I'm not going to rely on my face. Even though my phone does have it, I'm not going to rely on it. I'm going to I use my fingerprint now, and or a pin, one or the other, or hold the button in to be able to make an emergency call. The problem is we think we set all this stuff up for emergencies, and then something happens in the emergency. Well, I'm going to tell you a funny story. And I'll do maybe tomorrow night on the live stream with the panel about my trip to Orlando last week to get my teeth cleaned. I have an alarm system in my house, and it has smoke detectors that are connected to the system. So, the thinking was, if I'm not home and I have a fire, at least the monitoring service will report it to the fire department. They always call you first to say, do you really have a fire? But if they can't reach you, they place the 911 call. I've had this alarm system, and I'll tell you the name. It's a Simply Safe. I've had it for about 7 or 8 years here at my house. And during that period of time, the smoke detectors that are hooked to it have false alarmed 4 or 5 times. I've always been home. I get the call from the alarm company. I normally by that time have heard the siren and gone and disarmed it. But they call and they say, we received a fire alarm thing. And the first time it happened shortly again afterwards with the same smoke detector. So I called Simply Safe and we talked, and they said, well, we need to send you a new smoke detector because over time they do get particles in them, and makes them more prone to false alarms because they detect particles of smoke and other things. That's what sets them off. And they sent me a new one, and I hung it up. Year and a half later, another false alarm. Got a new smoke detector. Year and a half later, another false alarm. And this went on. But I'm always home. I don't worry about it. I go out, for an hour every blue moon to go to the store. But this is a story of my life and my luck. On the day, at the exact time when I was driving to Orlando on a limited access highway, a toll road, with no place to really, I get a text, your fire alarm went off. Get a phone call, your fire alarm went off. Nobody was home. That's my luck. That's the same thing with the stroke. Why did I have to have my stroke right after I put on hamburgers to cook? Well, my luck is it's terrible like that. If anything's going to happen, it's going to happen to me at the worst possible time. And I want to tell you a story that'll curl your hair about what the rest of my drive to the dentist was like dealing with the three-ring circus that was happening to try to resolve it over the phone and find out if my house was really on fire. It's quite a story. So talk about that Tuesday night. If I don't remember that I said I'd talk about it, please remind me. Mitch, you can vacuum the smoke detectors a couple of times and remove the dust. Not these. I know you can. I know you can blow them out or vacuum, do all kinds of things to them. But and of course, it's Barry. Yeah. Hi, Barry. Good morning. Yeah. I'm not going to trust it. Now, I might do that with one of those hang-on-the-wall smoke detectors. But as long as they're provided by the alarm company, once they false alarm, I have 3 other smoke detectors in my house besides the ones from the alarm company. They will wake me up if I'm sleeping. If I'm not here and the house catches fire, it's going to burn down because it's going to take the fire department that long to get here after the alarm company finally gets past me and decides to call them. I'm not that concerned about the property. I'm concerned about life. As long as I get something to wake me up at night, I'm not concerned about whether it calls the alarm company. So I've decided to take the fire alarm out of the system completely and never, ever have that, because my odds of getting killed in a traffic accident because of that false alarm were 1,000 times higher than the odds of my house burning down. I'll tell you all about it on Tuesday. Well, we get to the end of the chat, and it is 8:07. So see, I couldn't finish right on time. So take a minute, say goodbye to all your friends. It's great to see you all this morning, and thanks again for those super chats. Wow, Susan, so nice of you. Mike Perry uses canned air to clean your life. Yeah, I have air compressors and all kinds of stuff. I could clean them, but I don't trust them after that last little episode. Rick has sprinklers. Well, of course you do, Rick. Bye, all. Be safe, says Spanky. And Rick says, see you later or tomorrow. Thank you, Rick. Girl, Grandma, how you doing? Says, later, all. So with that, my friends, I'm going to proceed to start my Monday activities. I may go fill up my car with gas today, since I made that long trip last week and have about 1/8 of a tank left. I may even get it washed if it's not raining. I may go to Aldi just because I can and practice walking around. So I'll let you know tomorrow. I know how exciting it is keeping up with my event-filled and active life these days, but you know, it is what it is. Thanks for coming, everybody. Take the rest of the day off and eat meat.